Imagine a small village in the interior of Spain, where the calm sound of the wind in the trees and the distant ringing of church bells define the rhythm of daily life. It is the city of Barbastro on January 9, 1902, the day Josemaría Escrivá de Balaguer was born. He was the second of 6 children born to José Escrivá and María Dolores Albaz, a couple who lived intensely their Catholic faith. 4 days after his birth, Josemaría was baptized, and since then his parents have guided him in the ways of faith with their example. Josemaria's childhood was marked by trials and tribulations that tempered his soul. When Josemaría was only 2 years old, she became seriously ill, having received the news from the doctor saying, "This night he will not pass." Her mother, Dona Dolores, made a promise. If Our Lady cured her son, she herself would carry him in her arms to the hermitage of Torre Ciudad. He was cured, and years later she encouraged the construction of a shrine in this place. Between 1910 and 1913, he lost 3 of his younger sisters, a pain that added to the family's economic challenges. The move to Logroño in 1915 brought new challenges, but also shaped young Josemaría for his future mission. In his teens, a seemingly simple but profoundly transformative scene occurred during the winter of 1917. Josemaría observed the footprints in the snow left by a barefoot Carmelite, and this vision led him to a deep reflection on the sacrifices that were made for God and for neighbor, and he asked himself, "And what can first do?" It was this questioning that planted the seed of a divine restlessness in his soul, leading him to seek a greater love that impelled him to decide for the priesthood. With determination, Josemaría began his ecclesiastical studies at the seminary of Logroño and later in Zaragoza, where he also graduated in law. His father, José Escrivá, would die in 1924. This experience of suffering was fundamental to Josemaría's spiritual development. His dedication to prayer and study was exemplary, inspiring all around him. A year later, he was ordained a priest, and his first Mass was celebrated in the Basilica of the Pillar. In Madrid, he devoted himself to tireless work with children, the sick, and the poor, always moved by a genuine love. It was on that day that he saw his mission, to found Opus Dei, a work designed to promote holiness through daily work. The central idea was that everyone, regardless of profession or social position, could seek holiness in their daily activities. As he used to say, to transform into heroic poetry the prose of every day. Work does not have to be extraordinary to be valuable to God. When we do even the simplest tasks with love, offering them to God, they become prayer. Washing the dishes, serving a customer, changing a diaper. Everything can be offered to God if done with rectitude and a spirit of service. Josemaría's undertaking was not without challenges. During the Spanish Civil War, the church faced persecution, and he sought refuge in Burgos, France. However, his vision remained firm, and in 1946 he left for Rome, where he found support from Pope Pius XII. Between 1947 and 1950, Opus Dei received canonical approval, being recognized by the Church. Josemaría Escrivá's legacy is vast, but one of the most remarkable aspects is his emphasis on holiness accessible to all, whether by religious vocation or not. This message resonated strongly at Vatican Council II, which confirmed many of the principles advocated by Josemaría, such as the universal vocation to holiness and the value of professional work as a means of drawing closer to God. On June 26, 1975, Josemaría Escrivá died in his study looking at an image of Our Lady. At that time, Opus Dei already had a significant presence in the Catholic world, with more than 60,000 members of 80 nationalities. His Holiness was officially recognized by the Church on October 6, 2002, when Pope John Paul II canonized him, highlighting his unique contribution to contemporary Christian spirituality. As we reflect on the life of Saint Josemaría Escrivá, we are invited to review our own journey. Are we pursuing holiness in our daily activities, turning our challenges into opportunities to grow in love for God and neighbor? Josemaría's example inspires us to look beyond difficulties and see the divine footprints in our own lives, challenging us to respond with generosity and love. If you have found inspiration and learning from the life story of Saint Josemaría Escrivá, please leave your like so that we can continue to share stories of saints that light our path. Subscribe to the Aurora Veritatis channel to continue receiving inspiring content about the lives of saints. May God bless your journey, and may we all seek holiness in our day-to-day lives. See you in the next video.